Welcome to It's a New Day. My name is James Young. Today, this is how we're going to start our show.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty. Oh, wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. Cause they're the ones who's coming up and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change the world, just you and me. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. Cause they're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hell. And they don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all the builders, it's time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out, they do it every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change the world, just you and me.
And today my guest is,
Timothy Mitchum.
and the members of the band.
On drums, we got Brett Schultz. On lead guitar, we got Ryan Johnson. And on bass, we got Scotty Dupree.
Thank you so much for you coming in, as well as the Timothy Mitchum band.
Thank you for having me.
You're originally from Rochester.
Yes,
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay, and you're in college. We talked about this off camera.
Yes.
So you're keeping your day job while you're doing the entertainment and the music. So let me just say, ask you a couple of questions. What inspired you to take entertainment to get into this industry, knowing the difficulties? I mean, this is almost like being an athlete.
What inspired me was when I was young, I saw like Michael Jackson, and he was performing with his brothers, and I was just like, wow, I really want to do that. And then from there, it's just been, I've been doing it ever since.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people that see something and aspire to be that, but somewhere along the line or somewhere along the way, they lose their enthusiasm, they lose that drive, and that dream becomes deferred. How were you able to manage and hold on to your dream?
I think I was able to hold on to my dream just because like I really wanted to do it. Um, it was I don't know, it just spoke to me, like singing and like music. It just seemed like that was the thing that I was like made to do. And also my parents always, pushed me and like made sure that I was, focused, staying grounded and just keeping it in a straight line.
Okay, and I noticed your musical career or your musical path. You sing a lot of inspirational, very positive songs.
Yeah.
But would you speak about how did you, once again, by being so young, most people your age are into hip hop. I don't know if you're into that. I probably am, but the genre for most young people is very, very heavy beat, the hip hop. How did you manage to gravitate towards a more positive sound?
I listen to a little bit of everything, but I feel like as a singer or as a musician, it's your job to, spread a positive message whenever you can.
Okay.
So that's why I usually go more towards the inspirational songs because people need to hear it, especially young people.
Okay. That is exactly true. What are some of the challenges that you're faced with? Now, despite that, I want to let the viewing audience know that you come here on the show with a little bit of claim, a little bit of success and fame. Um, you were on the Grammys,
Yes.
The Lion King.
Yes.
Um, you auditioned for SUV, The Law and Order.
Yeah, I was on an episode of Law and Order.
Okay.
Actually.
Now, get to all of that, what did it take? Now, the reason why I'm asking you this question is because I know that there perhaps are other young people or other people out there in general who may want to do something but may not know the path on how to get there. How did you get from Rochester, New York, to do an audition in a studio in New York or California or wherever your talents have taken you?
Well, I started out just doing a lot of like local performances, just performing a lot, and then from there, um, I went to like different like talent conventions, and from there I made like more connections to like people in New York, and that's how I met my agent. And then whenever there's an audition, she calls me, and I go down and audition. And that's how I get like the opportunities.
Okay, and I would assume that you had to put in a lot of hard work, practicing.
Definitely.
Okay, would you talk about the preparation? Most people, what they see is what we call overnight sensations. But these overnight sensations took 10, 15, 20 years to prepare. And that's one of the things that people don't understand about success, the preparation. But what are some of the things that you had to do? I mean, perhaps maybe there would have been times when you wanted to go outside and play or do other things, but you had to practice your keyboard, you had to practice your chords, your singing. So what were some of the things that you had to do to prepare yourself for you to be where you are today?
I just want to be the best that I can be. So I just always, like I know you said, like sometimes maybe I wanted to go outside and play or go out and hang out with my friends. This is what this has always been like the thing that I wanted to do, So it definitely is like a lot of hard work and a lot of practice, but I enjoy it, you know what I mean? I think that's important. That can be the deciding factor to if you continue doing it or not.
How do you deal with the disappointments when you audition for something? And I know that you got to be saying, but I know I'm good. I'm the best for this position, How do you deal with the rejection? Because I know that's got to be traumatic.
How do I deal with the rejection?
Um, well, I just know that I did the best that I could do.
Okay.
And, you know, my dad used to always say, there's going to be days when you are the best and you may not get the role. And there's be days when you aren't the best and you will get it. So you just gotta stick through it.
And that's one of the, I think that's one of the key ingredients that you just mentioned, and that's about sticking to it.
Yeah.
Because many times we hear a no, and we never want the world to see us again. But I think that when we prepare ourselves and knowing where you're going, that you're not interested in the no's, you're seeking the yes, and no matter how many no's that you get, you're constantly waiting for that yes.
Yeah.
How did you get the role in Lion King? I mean, now that had to take some doing. It had to be more than just a call from your agent and say, "Do you want this role?" How did that happen?
Actually, well, I had did a talent convention in North Carolina, and that's how I met my agent. And well, actually, let me go back. When I did the talent convention, they wanted us to stay out in California, but we couldn't make the move that quickly. You know what I mean? So they connected us to some people in New York City, and the lady that they connected us to ended up being my agent. So when I went to audition for her, because she wasn't my agent yet, I sung for her, I performed for her, and she liked it. And she said, I'm going to send you out on an audition for Lion King. So like the same day that I auditioned for her, she sent me out on an audition. And then like I had to go back for callbacks a few times, and then like I ultimately got the role.
Can you express to us what that feels like?
Oh man, it feels incredible. That was a lot of fun, just like touring different places. I got to work with a lot of cool people, and I think one of my favorite parts about it was I got to talk and learn from like different like musicians and stuff, which is really cool.
I know that there will be many people in the viewing audience. And so I want to ask you this question so we can put this to rest. Is your father rich? I mean, do you come from a lot of money? Because unfortunately, one of the things that we do, we associate success with money. And we think that if you don't have X number amount of dollars, then there's no way that you can pursue the things that you're trying to pursue. So, I mean, do you come from a rich family?
No, I don't come from a rich family, but I would say we're blessed, definitely. My father, he owned a clothing store, so I just come from a hardworking family.
And that's the point that I'm really trying to make. You're coming from a hardworking family. Nothing was given to you.
No.
Okay, I mean, you've had to earn everything. And therefore, because what we're doing now is seeing the tail end of your success. Okay, but now we're not seeing the sacrifices that perhaps your father had to make to buy an organ or electric piano like this. Okay, or even perhaps maybe you've made the sacrifices instead of wearing, going out and buying that thick rope gold chain. Okay, you invested it into your career. And I think that I'm wanting to be able to use you as an example for young people to see that if you have a dream, you have to follow that dream. Now, you have to dream with your eyes wide open. And apparently you've been doing that very, very well. What can you say to young people that would help them pursue and stay on the path to their goals?
I would just say work hard every day. And if you believe in it, it's gonna happen. No matter how many no's or rejections you get, you just gotta stay persistent and just know that it's gonna happen, and it will happen.
I think that that's the hardest part for most people, and that's to believe in knowing that it's going to happen. I'm quite sure that time after time after time that you face some no's, some what we would consider to be failures.
Mm.
But what gave you the strength? I would say what gave you the strength to keep going by the answer that you just gave is that you knew that one day that no was going to turn into a yes.
Yeah.
And I think that it is so important. If another young person hears me say that, well, they're saying, well, he's an old man, and so he doesn't know or understand what I'm going through.
Mm.
But because you're relatively the age of the young people that I am trying to impress, I'm quite sure when they hear you saying that it's going to take some hard work, that this isn't going to be easy. Yes, now the rewards for what happens are the things that you've experienced. Once again, I mean, it had to be exciting to get a phone call and say that we would like to audition you for Law and Order. I mean, I think that that's a great show. And I think that being able to have that talent, and then not only that, to knowing that people in the industry know that you have that talent and people call on you, I think that says, it speaks volumes about who you are. Because you are so young, my next question is how come you're not crazy? How come you're not doing the crazy stuff that we see so many young people do? But I believe that there are more good young people than there are bad. And unfortunately, what we get always see on the 6 o'clock
Yeah.
news.
Is it bad?
Exactly. Would you talk about that from your perspective?
Yeah, like when you watch the news, they usually show the people that are doing the wrong things, but there's a lot more kids trying to do the right thing. You know, there's a lot more kids trying to be role models and like volunteering and like doing stuff after school with like other kids, but that doesn't really get shown. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think it'll inspire more kids to do it if the light was shining on the good stuff and not so much the bad stuff.
Exactly.
Because the bad stuff is there and it's going to be there, but as long as they're showing the good stuff, maybe other kids can say, I want to do that too.
What was the deterrent that kept you from getting into trouble?
I would say definitely my father.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty strict.
Well, there's nothing
So
wrong with
I gotta
that.
walk in a pretty straight line.
Well, I think that is a major ingredient to young people's success. I think one of the things that happened is that with each generation wants to give their child or their children more than what they had.
Right.
And in the process of trying to deliver that, we also think what comes along with that is this long hands-on approach. And the more we give the child, the further away we parent. And now what happens is that we give the child access to opportunity, but we don't give them understanding to that. And these are the things that I believe that make young people try to figure out this stuff for themselves. Once again, having such a strong family background, having a father, that it's there, I think that these are some of the things that make people successful. And what we're trying to do is to, as I said, I wanted to have you come on the show today because I want people to see that we do have successes in this community, that we do have fathers that are still home with their children and their wives, and that we do have young, productive people in our community. What I would like to do now is get ready to prepare the viewing audience for the next song. Would you tell us a little bit about your next song?
My next song is called Dare to Dream. It's by John Legend. It's another really inspirational song that has a really strong message.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're going to turn the stage back over to Tim.
Take one look at these small hands. They're child with power that can move mountains. There's much more in store than we could understand. I know we can do anything. Close your eyes and visualize. Nothing is impossible for those who try. Just dream to fly as eagles fly across the sky. I know we can see the rainbows around us all. Hear the angels when they call. Find a way to reach inside. Just dare to dream and walk with pride. Hold on when all hope is gone, 'cause wings may not be given to the swift or strong. It's given to the ones who can endure flaws. I know we can and see the rainbows around us all. Hear the angels when they call. Find a way to reach inside. Just dare to dream. Oh, we'll rise up together and we'll fly. And I know we're gonna make it through the fire. Just dare to dream. Find a way to reach inside. Just dare to dream and walk with pride.
Dare to Dream. What a beautiful song. What a beautiful concept of an idea. What do you have in the works? Do you have any upcoming auditions, anything that you can tell us about that we should be prepared for?
Right now I'm just working on my own music, recording my own music, and going on some auditions soon. Thing is, I never really know what I'm gonna be auditioning for till literally like the day before.
How are you doing in college?
Good, I'm doing good.
Very good, very good. Please tell young people to stay in school. It doesn't matter what profession, or whatever it is that you want to do, but would you relate to them the importance of an education? Even relating to how education relates to what it is that you're doing.
We're living in a time now where there's only so much you can do without education. Like if you want to be successful and you want to, if you want to like keep on moving forward, you're gonna need like those degrees and stuff. So it's definitely important to stay in school.
Okay, but what are you going to be majoring in?
I'm majoring in music business right now.
Okay,
so,
very good.
Yeah.
In music, or in the business of music, or learning how to perfect it? The reason why I ask, because most artists don't understand the business side of the industry, and therefore many artists get taken advantage of. So
Right.
Are you learning the business aspects as well as enhancing the creativity of your work?
I'm learning like contracts and like the legal side of
Okay,
everything. I think that's definitely important.
Just a question in developing songs.
Mm.
Okay, the master that everyone talks about. So you would be in charge of those if would you have your own studio, your own recording and things of that nature?
Um, well, part of the reason why I'm learning like music business just so I can have like the copyrights to my stuff,
Okay.
you know, the royalties and everything. Because what's going on now, they're giving out like these record labels are giving out like 360 contracts, where you pretty much sign away everything, and the only opportunity you get to make any money is if like you know you're on tour. You know what I mean? And I want to be able to have like my publishing and my copyrights for like all you know the music that I write.
Okay. Would you explain what that 360 is? Because for other young people that are out there that are thinking about going into the industry, so they'll be aware of of that terminology. What is that?
360 contract is just like um, when you sign a 360 contract, you give like the company the right to put your name on like different like merchandise and stuff. They own your name when you write songs. You know, sometimes they own the rights to all those, and that's not what I want.
So that this could be a very tricky business for those that are not savvy enough to really understand the real. Are there young artists that get trapped and lose a lot of their earnings because of not being aware of what's going on in the industry?
Definitely. A lot of young people, well, a lot of people, period, you know, once they hear, you know, oh, I'm about to get a record deal, they just automatically like jump at the first chance to sign it. But not every deal is a good deal. You know, I could have had deals before, but I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I want to do. You know what I mean? So I'm just waiting for like the fair deal, so I can do what I want to do.
I'm assuming a fair deal would be where you're in control, or you have a lot of control over what your work is, how it's
Yeah,
produced, and okay.
a fair deal just meaning that you know I get like creative freedom to make the kind of music that I want to make, and everything's just divided up evenly.
Okay. I guess that works. I want to come back to a question I asked you earlier because it's still very puzzling to me. How do you get yourself prepared to go on an audition, and especially an audition like, you know, Law and Order? I guess maybe it's because I'm the novice and I'm intrigued by the camera and the show itself, and perhaps it would just overwhelm me. But how do you, young, you're cool as a cucumber, how do you prepare to go on an audition of something of that magnitude?
Well, my agent, she'll call my father and say, you know, there's an audition for, you know, Law and Order or whatever the show may be. Just be in the city and at the audition by 3 o'clock tomorrow. So what I would do is I would get a copy of like the sides. That's basically like the part of the script that I'll be auditioning with, and I just rehearse it over and over and over and over and over and over until the next day. So you literally get a call like the day before and you go down and you audition.
Okay.
So you gotta be pretty spontaneous.
Oh, that sounds easier. I could have 2 or 3 weeks if by the time it was for me to actually do the audition, I'd probably mess the whole thing up. I'd be so nervous. But once again, I believe that that's what happens when you get into the preparation. I mean, you're a professional. Despite how young you are, you're still a professional in what it is that you do. And I guess it's because you're viewing this from the eyes of a professional. Whereas with me, I'm just overwhelmed with it just being, I guess, part of the audience and wondering how does one overcome all of that. The other part, how do you maintain a sense of balance? I asked you earlier a similar question, and you said it was because of your upbringing of your dad. But you're not around your dad 24/7. I mean, there are times that you are away from perhaps anyone that would know you. What is keeping you level-headed? Why do you stay on the straight and narrow when it could be easily to go astray from that, especially when no one is looking. What is keeping you on that path?
Um, I think the people and the environment that I, choose to put myself in. All my friends are into something, into being like creative. Like, I got friends that rap. I got friends that direct music videos. Everybody's focused on something, and we kind of like feed off each other's like motivation, each other's energy.
So basically, what this really comes down to is that you are associating yourselves with people that are looking for success like yourself.
Exactly.
And I think that if we could make this a larger pie, if we could get more people to see that if you want to be successful, you have to associate with successful people.
Yeah, and Rochester is full of those kind of people. Rochester has like a lot of talent, and I think a lot of other cities may not know that about us. That's why I think like if I can get like the nation to shine a light on Rochester, they'll see like everybody else.
Did you study and because as you're saying that we do have a lot of talent here as well. We have a few great musical organizations here, the Eastman School of Music, as well. What is it, Hochstein? Did you study at any of those?
No, I didn't study at Eastman or Hochstein, but I went to School of the Arts. I was a drama major, and also I had a mentor and a good friend. His name was Robert Meadows. He just recently passed away, but he was always teaching me new things and motivating me, and just he was a big support.
So that's another thing that we can put into the category of preparedness as well. I guess you need a mentor, someone that can help you move along, someone that I guess would also help keep your spirits up, and knowing that as you're traveling this path, there will be some light at the end of the tunnel. Would you be able to be a mentor to other people? What do you think about, from all the things that you've learned, what would you say to younger people, younger than yourself, wanting to venture into this industry?
Just like I said, just to stay focused and to believe that's going to happen, and to work hard. Just work really hard at it.
Has racism played a role in your success or lack thereof? Has racism ever reared its head in the process of getting work?
Yeah, I think so. There's been times when I would be performing, I'd be in like a competition, and I would feel like my performance was like the winning performance, and like the audience would say, your performance was the winning performance, but it doesn't always turn out that way. Sometimes it's based on other reasons, you know what I mean? And you just gotta brush off your shoulder and just keep moving, keep working.
Okay, I think that what you said was really, really important about when you're getting to a point and you know that you're doing the best that you can, and when that work has been pushed aside, about being able to keep your face up, hold your head up, and continue to move forward. Okay, I think that that's something that we need to let young people who are pursuing this path as well, things that they can do. How do you also now stop from getting the big head? I mean, you've done some very ambitious things. How do you keep your feet on the ground?
How do I keep my feet on the ground? I think I'm just so much in the moment that I'm just in. I don't know. I'm so in the moment that I guess I don't see it the way another person may see it. I just feel like I'm blessed and I'm fortunate to be able to do the things that I'm doing.
Okay.
As opposed to like, seeing it from another way, like, look at me. I mean, I want people to look at me, but I think it's just really important to, just be grateful, be humble, and be thankful that, you have the talent and the gifts and the blessings that you do have.
Okay, I think that, I mean, you're saying all the right things. I know that your dad is extremely proud of you. I know people that know you are extremely proud to be able to say and associate themselves with you. I think that you are a tremendous role model for this community. I really thank you for coming on and sharing with us and giving us your ideas and your thoughts on success, sharing with us of how to overcome all the no's and when things don't look promising, to be able to continue to go forward and to keep moving.
Dare to dream.
Take one look at these small hands. They're endowed with power that can move mountains. There's much more in store than we could understand. I know we can do anything. Close your eyes and visualize. Nothing is impossible for those who try. Just dream to fly as eagles fly across the sky. I know we can see the rainbows around us all. Hear the angels when they call. Find a way to reach inside. Just dare to dream and walk with pride. Hold on when all hope is gone, 'cause wings may not be given to the swift or strong. It's given to the ones who can endure flaws. I know we can, and see the rainbows around us all. Hear the angels when they call. Find a way to reach inside. Just dare to dream. Oh, we'll rise up together and we'll fly. And I know we're gonna make it through the fire. Just dare to dream. Find a way to reach inside. Just dare to dream and walk with pride.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
What I'd like for you to be able to do is to end the show out with my song. I think that people are going to enjoy this. My name is James Young. I look forward to seeing you next week. Be blessed, and remember, it's a new day.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. the sky. You know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly up in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. And I'm feeling good. Stars out when you shine, you know what I mean. Scent of the pine, you know what I mean. Freedom is mine, that's what I mean. It's a new